All right, gang, Dan with OBS Outpost here. Today we're going to be doing a Gen 4 swap in a GMT 900. Gen 4 seats come from the 14 to 18 Sierra Silverados, 15 to 20 Escalades, Yukons, Tahoes, Suburbans. Trucks we're going to be putting them into are going to be the 07 to 13 Sierra Silverado, up to the 14 for your SUVs, the Yukon, the Tahoe, Suburban, Escalade. These seats are all going to fit the same exact way. They're all going to mount the exact same way. We've got a bracket package to showcase here today. So let's want to get started actually showing you a little bit what the bottoms of these seats look like and how the differences. So over here we got the GMT 900. You can see you've got your 4 mounting points that mount to the floor right here. And on the Gen 4 seat we're going to be putting it in, they actually use these big hooks to clamp up front. Got a locating pin, a mounting point down here, another locating pin, another hook up here. So you can see that these seat brackets mount entirely different. There's no way you can just take this seat and mount it into your GMT 900 truck. The spacing here is also 15 and a half. The center spacing on this rail is 16, so we're a ½ inch off there. So there's a lot of different variables here. Our bracket package is going to be able to adapt this whole pattern right here and these hooks and be able to bolt this seat in directly to your truck. So like with any seat swap, we need to do a few mods. First of all, we need to be able to create some mounting points. And the mounting points are going to be where these rivets are at on this Gen 4 seat. We've got 4 of them. This one down here actually has 2, but we're only going to be using this top one. And this one already has the holes here, no rivet. So basically we're just going to be popping out 3 rivets here today, 1, 2, and 3, to be able to create the mounting points to be able to adapt our brackets. Now sometimes if you got manual seats, they won't have rivets here because it's part of the worm gear in there. So, but there will be there may be a hole here or an indentation, and I'll show you how to mark that so you know exactly where to drill and how to do it. I also got a video on how to remove these rivets real fast. Guys, if you do it right, these rivets shouldn't take any more than 30 seconds a piece to remove these and be able to create your 4 mounting points. Our brackets do not require to remove these hooks. These are either welded on or glued on. I'm not sure what the factory did, but they are a bear to take off. One of the mods I do suggest though is slicing this piece off right here. I'm going to show you how to do that in the video because this piece extends out far and we don't need it. You're going to see it. It's going to look ugly. So we want to remove that piece right there. And one other thing we may want to do is you got some extra meat back here on this bracket. Sometimes I like to come in here and just shorten this up, get rid of this piece, cut it off, make it nice and flush. This is more of an appearance. It's not necessary. It's kind of optional. We'll go over that as well. So here's the Gen 4 seat that I already removed the rivets on. One rivet was right there. Another one was right there. You can see if you slide this down, that's that worm gear I'm talking about. This is actually the outside rail right here, the part that had this big old piece of metal here. I actually decided just to cut it completely off, so I did remove this second rivet right here. It's not necessary. I show you in the video here that I normally just do a slice right across here, come right around here, just kind of make it flush with this rail right here, because you're not going to see any of this once this is cut off. I decided just to grind it down. It will make the bracket sit a little bit more flatter, but it is a lot of work. So just giving you a heads up, because that piece is actually, I don't know if it's welded on or glued or how they do it, but it's definitely fused down there. It's about an 1/8 inch piece coming off there. So I ended up just getting rid of it completely on this one. And this hole right here was just left untouched. So basically the 2 top rivets I got rid of. And then normally I would just slice the bracket off here and drill out the 1 rivet, but I went ahead and just ground it down, gave it a coat of paint right there. And that's gonna give that side bracket a nice flush look. All right, so let's get going with the mods. I went ahead and I scribed a gray marker line so I know where I'm gonna be cutting. Today I'm gonna be using an angle grinder, a cutoff wheel. If you don't have one, you can run on a Harbor Freight for about 10, 15 bucks. You can pick one up to do this job. Should also talk a little bit about safety. This is a very dangerous tool, so you make sure you're wearing gloves, face mask, eyewear, all that stuff. You know, we don't need to be losing fingers trying to do our own seat swap here. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna do a couple breeze cuts on this thing. I'm not looking to try and cut through the whole entire thing right away. Do a couple breeze cuts, I'll grab it with a pair of pliers and just kind of rock it back and forth and snap it off. I'm gonna probably come back here. There's these raised portions on this bracket. This will kind of, it won't interfere, but it'll kind of make the bracket sit up. So I'll probably come back with a flap disc and grind these down. Keep in mind, we still gotta drill this rivet out right here to get access for this hole. On the other seat that I did, I went ahead and actually just came in here and did a bunch of cuts with the grinding wheel and ended up removing this whole piece together. It's really not that, I probably made it sound like it's more work than what it is. I may end up doing the same thing here, but I just want to show you the shortcut. If you don't want to go through the work, just go ahead, cut this piece off, come back with a grinding wheel or a flap disc, get this area cleaned up, and you'll be good. Let me just show you the other mod here real quick. So for this mod, I actually chose to go ahead and demonstrate the Sawzall for you guys, so let's get started. One thing I wanted to mention was make sure you have this rail pushed past the point of the inside rail right here. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting through that portion. We only want to cut this outside rail, not the seat rail. So make sure you've got the rail powered all the way back. So here's our Gen 4 to GMT 900 seat bracket adapters. We've got a driver's side outside, driver's inside, passengers inside, and a passenger's outside. When you get these, they're actually going to be come in raw steel. They're going to look like stainless. I just gave these a quick coat of gray for the install. They're paint powder coat ready. Powder coating's kind of overkill. Can of paint's really all you need. It's an interior part. So like I said, they're all laser cut. They're CNC formed. So every one of them is identical, fully welded for additional strength. We go ahead and we press in the threaded inserts right there, hardened insert with the grade 8 hardened bolt. These brackets are basically just bolt in. It's a very simple install. We'll show you how to do it here in a second. So one way I like to do it is actually just put the brackets on the seat first, mount them in there. They're basically gonna just lock right into place, and then you can start threading your bolts. And like with this one right here, it's got the provision for that locating pin right there. Just gonna drop it right up there. And then obviously just run your bolts from the top, and then this is completely done. I'll go ahead and I'll show you how this compares to the GMT900 bolt pattern so you can see. So here's the GMT900. Again, our 4 mounting points for the truck. We've just duplicated those same 4 mounting points on the Gen 4 seat. So I went ahead and made up a quick jig. Basically, it's a scale version of the GMT900 floorboard. And this is just to show you the orientation of how these brackets are gonna fit. We've got the driver's side over here. So when I ship them, I put the stickers on here, but obviously a lot of guys are gonna remove these to paint them, and they may forget which way the brackets go. So this is just kind of like a good reference if you wanna come back to the video while you're doing an install if you forget. The outsides are gonna always have this little half moon, so you know that's gonna be an outside bracket. The flat side's gonna be towards the outside, so you know that's a driver's side. Obviously, here's the passenger side over here. Again, it's got the half moon cut out right there. That's our passengers, and that's facing forward. And then the passenger inside, this one is actually shaped different, shaped like a Z. This is gonna be the passenger inside. And then we've got our drivers inside over here. So I just kind of wanted to include this for you guys. So if you're installing these and you forget which way they go, this is the correct orientation. Driver's side, outside, driver's inside, passenger inside, passenger outside. Let's go ahead and throw a seat on these to see how it looks. Go ahead and drop the seat on the bracket here just to kind of show you. This would be considered the floorboard of the truck. How nice that looks. So we put the seat in our furthest back position to get access to these 2 bolts. Just hooked it up to a little drill battery right now, just to show you how these things work. Wiring is very simple on these Gen 4Cs. You've got a power, and a ground. It's gonna be a big red wire and a big black wire. If this was a memory seat, it would have a 3rd or a 2nd red wire. They would also need power. That's going to get all your power functions working. On your GMT900 truck, you got another big connector. Well, so this is the kind of connector right here. You can see I got a diagram. You can see it's a big black and a big red. Just going to cut those off, put power directly to that. These Gen 4 seats, some of these did come equipped with heated and cooled function. As of right now, you're not going to be able to get that working because it's controlled off the body control module, the CAN bus, through the vehicle. It's not just a simple, you hook up 12 volts to it and go. What I recommend is you pop the seat cushion off. There's little tabs down here. Get access to the heater element, pop it out, go on Amazon for 50 bucks. Order yourself up a set of aftermarket heaters. They come with the switches, the wiring, they wire directly to 12 volts. And I think the fan for the cooling, it's not really air conditioning, it's just a fan. That you could probably hook up to 12 volts. So we got one in the shop I'm gonna be working on. I'll probably do a video just on that once I get it figured out. As far as the power on your GMT900 truck, you got a big old connector like this. Once you take the seat out, you've got a couple different ways to do it. So you can cut the wire. You can either cut this whole plug off if you wanna make your Gen 4 seat detachable. And then you're gonna go down here to pin number 9. I don't know if that's gonna focus in there or not. It says red and white wire. There's 2 of them next to each other. And then pin number 9 on the back. It's a big old black wire. Now this may not be the same on every single seat, but it's gonna always be a big black and a big red. So I'll show you if we go ahead and we connect power. Ground, got our hot. battery. And then obviously your up and down function. So it's all gonna just work off that. Obviously guys with manual seats don't need to worry about this, but I just want to at least touch base on this. At least get you rocking and rolling, get some power in the vehicle, make the power seat work. Like I say, I'll probably do a more in-depth video because you can see there's a ton of wires here. A lot of these wires are going to be going to various sensors, like your seat belt signal that's going to let your dashboard, it's going to have a little light and a chime letting you know that whether your seat belt's plugged in or not. There's positioning sensors on these new seats. I don't know if these seats have the GMT900 have it or not, but I'm gonna have to figure out what is the same on each one of these and probably do a breakdown video of what wires we need and which ones we don't, which ones we can live without. But for now, I just at least want to get you guys going with just the power. Like I said, I've got a diagram for the Gen 4. Your truck power is going to be really easy to figure out. Black and red is going to be your power, and you just got to connect it to the power on the seat. Okay, to remove the seat, we need to remove some panels here. This one right here, this back one, this one right here. This one just basically is going to pop right up. I already took it off, so basically just sits over that nut right there. Just pull up on it. These ones right here, they just pop right out also. Same thing for this back one. We're going to expose our bolts down there. We're going to have to move the seat forward to get to that one. We have to move it back a little bit to get to that one. Another thing we want to do is we want to take the seat belt, remove that from the seat. Actually, it just pops out from the back like that. I'm going to take that one off right there, so let's get to it. Panel just pops right up. It's held on the same way on that. And then this is like an E14 for these back ones. They come out pretty easy. The same thing over here. Right, now we just got to disconnect this. That just flips up like that. Ready to take the seat out. So once the seat's out, you can go ahead and you can drop your brackets in. Reusing the factory bolts. They're going to go in the exact same spots. Right back there, right up front. And you just want to leave these kind of loose. This is going to be the inside bracket. This is on the driver's side, driver's outside. Driver's inside, they'll be labeled what direction they go. So take your hardware out here. It comes with the brackets, and then we'll go ahead, we'll drop the seat in here, get everything tightened up. Just dropping the seat in right now. Go ahead back here, drop in some hardware, get started on this one. Down right now. Go up front. You can see our hole right there. I usually recommend it just hand tightening these. Don't use a power tool. You don't make sure you don't cross thread. Right, we are done. Gen 4 seat in a Gen 3 SUV. So we got this little screw back here. Torx, small little Torx. We're going to take this screw out. It's going to slide off just like that on this part right here. And then we want to take our Torx and we're going to pop this out of here. Next thing we want to do is there's a clip on here. We want to remove this clip so we can get this bolt out of here. Seat belts in.